is going on, everybody? It is your boy Mince back at it with another review. And today we are going to be reviewing the fourth installment in the Final Destination franchise titled The Final Destination. But before we get into beginning of the review itself, guys, if you missed my previous reviews of the franchise, I've done them for the first film, the second film, and the third film, and this will all be leading up to a big ranking I planned on Saturday of ranking all the movies from the worst to the best, at which I'm seeing the newest film actually later tonight, and I will be reviewing it tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free, number two, also maybe help with the YouTube algorithm, and I recommend the video to more people, and maybe they could join. That's it! And do feel free to comment your thoughts on the Final Destination down below. But with that being said, guys, let's go right into let's give a quick plot synopsis of the film, shall we? So let's transition into Zemia.
While enjoying a day at the track, Nick O'Bannon has a horrific premonition of his friends and him all dying in a freak accident involving many race cars. Mere seconds before the vision comes true, he manages to convince them to leave. Although they cheat death, then the survivors each begin to meet a grisly end, and Nick tries to find a way to escape a similar fate.
Alright, so with the Final Destination, going into this one, I have only seen the first three movies. This one and 5 were the only two I had not seen before, so when doing this review series. So, as for this one, I wasn't really excited going in, because I know most people have this as their worst of the franchise, and most people say this is the only one in the franchise that is bad. So, going in, I was going like, oh, this is gonna suck, ain't it? But I didn't think it was gonna... I thought to myself a little bit like, okay, maybe it won't be as bad, like, as I'm expecting from these reviews that of the film. So I went in going, okay, maybe it won't be as bad as everyone says. And with that being said, let's just get into the actual review itself, guys, shall we? Alright. So as for the good, we always start off with the good here for our movie reviews. And I only have one, and that is Hunter's death. So for the I think out of all the deaths in this film, that's the actual one that I think delivers in the Carnage candy. And I thought that was pretty unique and gnarly, the way they did that. However, that's my only good I have with the movie. Now let's move on to the mixed aspects, which, again, only have one. And it's starting to go downhill from here, ladies and gentlemen. And one mixed aspect I have is the opening premonition. So, of course, with the first film, you had the airplane explosion being the premonition. Then the second film, you had the pile-up sequence, which, of course, I thought was great. And then the last film, you had the roller coaster opening premonition. As for this one, you have it as a
Race car track. While on paper that sounds interesting, the execution, however, is not the best because you have some very, very bad CGI, which is surprising because this came out a few years after the first three films. So, yeah, very mixed on that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that leads into the bad of this movie. Oh my, I have quite a few. Starting off with the bad, I have the acting. This has easily the worst acting out of all of the films so far, and I watched 5 last night, so yes, this is the worst acting of the franchise by far, and I hate picking on actors saying they had a bad performance in this, but in here they do, and I never saw most of these actors in anything else after this, so this kind of was the ending of their careers, basically, which is a bummer for them. But yeah, I don't think they acted very well, unfortunately. But I will say, let's move on to the next bad. It could just be because of the script and the dialogue that they were handled. So maybe they were acting decently. It's just the script and the dialogue was trash. There was some moments in this film where there's dialogue I literally went, who wrote this? And it was just terrible. I don't understand why they did that. So, not a fan of that either. Another thing, the ending of the film. I started not liking the endings of this film with the last film, even though I still love the last film. But this one easily has the worst, where it ends off a cliffhanger, and it's so
abrupt. Now, don't get me wrong, the first two films were abrupt, but they were abrupt in an awesome way. But as for this one, you don't care.
And I loosely talked about this earlier with the opening premonition, but the CGI in this is terrible. I thought the CGI for 1, 2, and 3 were not good. But this one takes the cake for the worst CGI out of the whole entire franchise. There's these premonitions that this guy sees. Oh, they're gonna die like this somehow. That I thought looked absolutely awful. Where it's a 3D gimmick that they're trying to do, and then they just shove it right in front of your face with these terrible CGI models. Like there's one of a snake that I thought looked bad. There's one of like, I don't know what it's called, but there's like a hook or whatever that looked bad. Yeah, it's just, the CGI in this was absolutely terrible, and I am more forgiving on the last 3 movies with their CGI now, so. Next up, another negative. If you have bad acting, you gotta have bad characters, right? And they certainly do here. I can't even remember a single one of their names. They're just completely forgettable. There's nothing stand out about them. They're just bland as bland could be. Then, another thing, the comedy. So this one went full-blown horror comedy, I feel like. It's not... It still has more horror elements than it does comedy, but this is the one out of the franchise that I've seen so far where it really tries to lean into the horror comedy side, unlike 2 and 3. So, and it falls flat on its face for me. I didn't think anything in this movie was necessarily funny, and it all just fell flat on its face. All the other kills in the movie, which is crazy to say because Final Destination is memorable for their
kills, and for this one, this has easily the weakest kills by a mile, maybe besides the pool death, but all the other ones suck in this because the early 2000s CGI, and it just looks so bad, which is sad to say for the Final Destination.
This one might change over time because I don't know necessarily if he's actually in the movie or not, just in a little tiny role or whatever like he was in the 3rd film. But no Tony Todd in here. No scenes from the legend himself, which, and to be fair, in the last film, he wasn't in it, like, in physical form. He just voiced the, like, Satan at the, roller coaster opening, so that was saying, oh, you're going to die. And this one, I couldn't tell if he was in the movie or not, and I was missing his presence a lot, because maybe that would have made me been a little bit forgiving on this film, but nope. How they find out Death's chasing after them, and this is easily the laziest explanation of how they find out Death's chasing after them. Like, I was a little forgiving on 2 and 3 because... No, I was a little forgiving on 3 because I still really enjoy the movie, but for this one, they come up with just such a lazy explanation where they basically just find out Death's chasing after them with the past news articles about everyone that died, so... And the final negative, probably one of the biggest ones, is the clickbait title. So the name of this film is The
Final Destination. So when this came out, I imagine everyone was expecting that this was going to be the last film in that franchise with that clickbait title. Nope, we still got 2 other movies that came out after this. So that makes me even more mad because it clickbaited you.
But other than that, that's just my thoughts on the Final Destination. Now let's bring out the toxic meter. And this gets a toxic trash and yeah, easily the worst of the Final Destination franchise, and just as bad as everyone says. This is terrible movie, and this almost was the Final Destination for this franchise because this one turned out so bad. But thank goodness we got Final Destination 5, which, spoilers for my review ahead that's coming out after this of that movie, I still had a buttload of issues with it, but still very much a better film than this. That is just, but overall, as a whole, ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on the Final Destination. Be sure to let me know your thoughts down below. And I will give credits where credits due. I think it could possibly be watchably bad for some people. So if you guys want a watchably bad time, you guys might enjoy this with a couple of friends. But other than that, still did not like this movie at all. Maybe besides Hunt's death in this film. But, with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one, everybody. Peace out.